Welcome everyone. I'm your host Dr. Yasir from Olympian Water Testing, an exclusive New York City and New Jersey based water testing company in the United States. Today I'm going to update you about an important class of drinking water contaminants that are volatile organic compounds termed as VOCs, which refer to a group of chemicals having high vapor pressure and low water solubility, whose elevated levels in your household drinking water can pose serious health risks. Therefore, their monitoring in your drinking water sources is very essential to keep you safe from VOCs exposure through drinking water. My today's video will help you develop a better understanding on drinking water VOCs contamination, in which I will describe you their major sources of contamination, regulations, health risks, detection and removal approaches to keep your water safe from VOCs toxicity. I will be covering following contents in my video, which include the background information on VOCs in drinking water, their major sources through which VOCs can enter in the drinking water systems and contaminate it. Next, I will update you on the regulatory status of VOCs in drinking water in the United States, followed by a brief description on various health impacts associated with VOCs exposures. I will then describe some known quantification and detection approaches of VOCs in drinking water and various recommended methods for VOCs removal from drinking water to make it consumable for humans. Finally, I will give you some recommendations to keep yourself and family safe from drinking water associated VOCs exposure. First of all, I will describe you about the background information on VOCs. VOCs refer to a group of chemicals having high vapor pressure and low water solubility. This property makes them volatile, making them part of the atmosphere in the form of vapors and gases, which makes them susceptible to causing negative impacts on the environment, human health, and also in climate change. VOCs become more persistent once they become part of groundwater, resulting in contamination of drinking water. VOCs can contaminate drinking water in many ways, including agricultural and industrial sources, leakages from underground storage tanks, and landfill seepages. Some commonly reported VOCs in drinking water include benzene, chloroform, tetrachloroethylene, trichloroethylene, styrene, etc. Now I come to some known sources of VOCs contamination in drinking water. Major sources of VOCs in the environment are due to various anthropogenic activities, including industrial, such as use and disposal of industrial products such as solvents, paints and adhesives, transportation activities comprising fossil fuel combustion, consumer products that mainly include household and personal care products, cleaning supplies, air fresheners, agriculture comprising pesticides and fertilizer, waste and landfills. However, natural sources such as vegetation and wetlands also contribute to VOCs spread in the environment. From these sources, VOCs may become part of the surface and groundwater through runoff and leaching processes, resulting in contamination of drinking water. Contamination from both natural and anthropogenic sources is responsible for their adverse impacts in environment as well as humans. Talking about the regulatory status of VOCs in drinking water, the US EPA regulates VOCs in drinking water through the Safe Drinking Water Act and has set MCLs for certain VOCs. However, not all VOCs have an MCL, and monitoring of all VOCs is not required by all water systems, taking into account the latest scientific and medical knowledge. Among various VOCs regulated by US EPA with MCL includes benzene, carbon tetrachloride, chloroform, tetrachloroethylene, and 1,2-dichloroethane, etc. More details on certain MCLs of VOCs can be found by visiting the shared URLs of EPA, where you can find an up-to-date details on MCLs of various known VOCs. The adverse health impacts of VOCs through drinking water may vary depending on the specific compounds and their concentration. Their exposure via drinking water can adversely affect human health based on exposure duration and individual susceptibility. Short-term exposure may cause eye, nose, and throat irritations, headaches, dizziness, and nausea, whereas their chronic exposure has been associated with various diseases, mainly including certain cancers and respiratory and neurological issues. For example, long-term exposure to benzene has been related to the development of leukemia, while formaldehyde has been associated with cancers and respiratory diseases such as asthma. At very high levels, VOCs can cause damage to the nervous and immune system and to the kidneys and liver. Some VOCs are suspected or proven carcinogens and may cause various cancers in humans. VOCs, when entered into the body, may adversely impact human health through cellular and molecular mechanisms. This includes DNA damage leading to mutations and cancers, generation of reactive oxygen species causing oxidative stress leading to cell death, inflammation, genetic mutations, disruption in hormones functions, and altered enzymes and protein functions. It is very important that your drinking water should always be tested from qualified and experienced experts for accurate and reliable results. The most widely used technique for VOCs quantification include the EPA's purge and trap method utilizing GCMS. The method separates various VOCs based on their chemical properties and detects them using a specific detector such as MS or FID. The method is highly sensitive with the potential to quantify a wide range of VOCs. However, the limitation includes its expensive costs and it is also a time-consuming technique. More recent approaches for VOCs measurement include highly sensitive liquid chromatography tandem mass spectrometry based methods. It should be noted that chromatography based quantification of VOCs requires a rigorous sample pre-treatment before subjecting it to GC or LC system. These include solid phase microextraction and liquid-liquid extraction involving organic solvents to extract VOCs from the water samples. Apart from these, some portable field instruments have also been developed which can detect VOCs presence in drinking water on site. These include photoionization detectors, flame ionization detector, and flame photometric detectors. So, the choice of method to quantify VOCs purely relies on the specific VOCs of interest, the expected concentration in drinking water, as well as available resources. Several methods have been developed to remove VOCs from drinking water. Widely used methods include the use of nanofiltration membranes and reverse osmosis with the potential to remove more than 93% of VOCs from drinking water. Aeration is also an effective method to remove volatile compounds having high vapor pressure. For example, benzene or toluene by exposing water to air resulting in VOCs removal through volatilization. Biological treatment involving microbes to degrade or remediate VOCs are also very efficient, cost-effective and widely used treatment strategy, but the process is slow and demands specific conditions for successful treatment to remove VOCs from water. More advanced oxidation processes termed as AOPs have been developed that use oxidants such as hydrogen peroxide, UV light, or ozone, etc. to break harmful VOCs into non-toxic or less toxic compounds. However, the limitation of this approach includes its highly expensive costs and the complexity to operate the process. To keep your drinking water safe from VOCs contamination, it is highly recommended that you should conduct a routine monitoring of drinking water in your house and workplaces from certified professionals. In case any VOCs levels are detected in your drinking water, it is highly recommended to remove its contamination using a recommended removal strategy. Further, you must ensure to trace and mitigate various sources that can potentially contaminate the drinking water system of your house and workplace, and make sure to replace or clean the water pipes and plumbings every 5 years. This is all about my video on VOCs in drinking water. I am hopeful that the content of my video will greatly help you understanding basic concepts on drinking water contamination of VOCs, their associated health impacts, and how you can avoid or reduce their exposure in your household drinking water. However, if you still have any query, please don't hesitate to reach us at the following telephone numbers and we will be pleased to respond your queries. Thank you very much and goodbye.